Good afternoon. I'm Richard Donahue. I'm the U.S. Attorney here in the Eastern District of New York. Minutes ago, a federal jury here in the Eastern District convicted Joaquin El Chapo Guzman on all counts of the federal indictment. In sum, the jury found that Guzman led the Sinaloa cartel, one of the largest and most dangerous drug cartels in the world, and that he is responsible for violence, including murders, and the smuggling of massive amounts of narcotics into the United States over a period of decades. This conviction, we expect, will bring a sentence of life without the possibility of parole. It is a sentence from which there is no escape and no return. This conviction is a victory for the American people, who has suffered so long and so much while Guzman made billions pouring poison over our southern border. This conviction is a victory for the Mexican people, who have lost more than 100,000 lives in drug-related violence. This conviction is a victory for every family who has lost a loved one to the black hole of addiction. There are those who say that the war on drugs is not worth fighting. Those people are wrong. Every day we lose American lives. Every day harm is inflicted on this country by drug addiction. And every seizure, every arrest, and every conviction contributes to a noble effort to save American lives. This conviction was brought about through a tremendous team effort within, across, and beyond the Justice Department. I first want to thank this remarkable trial team, remarkable and resilient trial team, made up of Eastern District Assistant United States Attorneys Gina Parlavecchio, Andrea Goldberg, Michael Rabati, Patricia Natopoulos, Hiro Mehta, Southern District of Florida Assistant United States Attorney Adam Fells, and trial attorneys Amanda Liscombe, Anthony Nardozzi, and Brett Reynolds from the Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs section in Washington. Together with our law enforcement partners in the DEA, FBI, and HSI, they gathered and presented overwhelming evidence of Guzman's guilt. I would also like to thank paralegals Huda Abusher, Melissa Bennett, Eileen Rosado, Angel Jimenez, and others who skillfully supported the prosecution team. We'd also like to thank our colleagues in the United States Attorney's offices in the Northern District of Illinois, the Southern District of New York, the Southern District of California, the Western District of Texas, and the District of New Hampshire for their tremendous contributions to this effort. I would also like to extend our sincere thanks and appreciation to the United States Marshal Service, the NYPD, our court security officers, DHS's Federal Protective Service, and others who have, through selfless service, vigilantly protected the courthouse and the surrounding area on a 24/7 basis under challenging circumstances. This trial has pulled back the curtain on international drug dealing in a way that no other trial has. It revealed that Guzman and his co-conspirators were responsible for smuggling hundreds of tons of cocaine, heroin, methamphetamines, and marijuana into the United States. It also revealed that they were only able to operate on that scale because of endemic corruption. This is unacceptable, and it will end. This is a day of reckoning, but there are more days of reckoning to come. We would like to thank the judge for a fair and efficient trial, and most of all, we would like to thank the jurors for their commitment, their patience, and the careful attention they paid to the evidence throughout the long course of this trial. I'd now like to give you the next presenter, Acting DEA Administrator Udom Dillon.
Good afternoon. I'm the Acting Administrator for the Drug Enforcement Administration, Udom Dillon. Today's conviction of Joaquin El Chapo Guzman demonstrates the dedication and determination of the men and women of the Drug Enforcement Administration to bring the world's most dangerous and prolific drug trafficker to justice. El Chapo is responsible for unthinkable amounts of death and destruction both in the United States and in his own country of Mexico. Guzman's deadly drugs destroyed many American families for nothing more than greed and power. This conviction is a huge victory for the thousands of DEA agents worldwide and all of our law enforcement partners in the United States, in Mexico, and around the world who work tirelessly to bring this man to justice. The success of this case is a testament to the strength of our relationship with our Mexican counterparts. We will continue to collaborate with Mexico to bring down the cartels and the individuals who bring poison into our country and into our communities. It is our hope that this verdict will show the entire world, no matter who you are or where you are located or how powerful you become, the Drug Enforcement Administration will never stop, and you will answer for your crimes. DEA will continue to pursue justice worldwide and protect all Americans from the scourge of illegal drugs. Thank you.
Throughout the past 12 weeks, the American public and the world had a backstage pass to the rise and fall of the leader, the most notorious, infamous, and dangerous drug cartel in history. Prior to the trial, El Chapo was a household name synonymous with wealth, power, fortune, and fame. However, throughout the trial and in many, many chilling witness testimonies, the American public and the world was introduced to the real El Chapo, a ruthless killer, a violent drug trafficker, arms trafficker, money launderer, and manipulator. El Chapo was a man behind the curtains. He pulled all the strings. He directed all of the production, the smuggling, the transportation, distribution of billions upon billions of dollars worth of narcotics into the United States. El Chapo was the leader of the Sinaloa cartel. The cartel responsible for pushing thousands of tons of cocaine, methamphetamine, heroin, fentanyl, marijuana into our communities, our neighborhoods, all across America. Today's verdict is a victory for law enforcement. But more importantly than that, today's verdict is justice. It's justice for the many thousands upon thousands of victims of overdose. It's justice for their families. It's justice for their friends, for their communities, for their towns, and for their cities. The Sinaloa cartel is responsible, in large part, for the opioid crisis, since it was the Sinaloa cartel that first introduced America to Mexican heroin laced with fentanyl. So justice has been served. I'd like to thank all our partners in the DETF, the Drug Enforcement Task Force, specifically the NYPD, the New York State Police. Also like to thank our federal partners, Eastern District of New York, Department of Justice, HSI, FBI, the U.S. Marshals, CBP, and the many thousands upon thousands of other law enforcement, state and local and federal partners that worked to capture, to extradite, and eventually convict El Chapo. Thank you very much. Special Agent in Charge, DEA, Raymond Donovan. Next up is Assistant Director Bill Sweeney, FBI.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you. Today's message and today's verdict was a powerful statement, both on behalf of victims across the globe and countless law enforcement officers who lost their lives fighting and tracking and hunting this individual. I'd like to express our gratitude to the many people that worked with us on our FBI Safe Streets task forces across the country. None of this is possible without partnerships, both here in the U.S. and across the globe. The people standing behind me are a tremendous picture of what's good in this instance, and they've done tremendous work to bring justice for everybody involved. I want to thank you and pass it on to Angel Melendez from HSI.
Thank you, Bill. My name is Angel Melendez. I'm the Special Agent in Charge
for Homeland Security Investigations. I want to start off by saying today is a historic day in American justice. 2 years ago, when Joaquin El Chapo Guzman was extradited to the United States to face the charges for which he was convicted today, during the announcement, we had the opportunity to mention that upon his arrival here in New York, the realization of American justice, of facing American justice, was sinking in. And today we say American justice has been served, ending his days of evading law enforcement, ending his murderous ways, and his propensity of carrying out violent acts, all in support of his drug trafficking efforts to poison our streets here in our country. To reach such an important day, it takes a village. And this was a village and all of government effort. I have to commend the A-team, the Avengers, the prosecutors that tried this case for the last 12 weeks relentlessly into achieving the conviction. I also want to commend the countless investigators of law enforcement here in the United States and elsewhere that worked arduously to ensure that El Chapo was investigated, that he was captured, that he was extradited, that he would face his charges, and eventually be convicted. I want to highlight the efforts of our HSI special agents out of our Phoenix office, and particularly here in New York of our El Dorado task force in New York City, that worked hand in hand with DEA, FBI, NYPD here in the city, and other agencies to achieve this monumental goal. I want to end by indicating that one of the important things about this conviction is the fact that it sends a resounding message to those individuals out there, no matter where they are, that are involved in drug trafficking as El Chapo was. You are not unreachable. You are not untouchable. And your day will come. I'll make a couple of comments for the Spanish press. Hoy es un día histórico. Es un día histórico el veredicto de culpabilidad en contra Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán. Hace 2 años, cuando El Chapo Guzmán aterrizó aquí en los Estados Unidos, particularmente aquí en Nueva York, para enfrentar los cargos por los cuales fue encontrado culpable hoy, yo le tuve la oportunidad de indicarle que la realización de enfrentar la justicia americana se percibía en el ambiente. Y hoy yo les digo que la justicia americana le ha servido una dosis significante a Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán. De esta manera, acabando sus días de traficar drogas, acabando sus días de matar personas y de llevar a cabo actos violentos, todo con el propósito de envenenar nuestras calles con cocaína, con heroína y otro tipo de narcóticos. Este tipo de labor, este tipo de acontecimiento no hubiera sido posible si no fueran por los fiscales que llevaron a cabo este caso. Es un equipo clase A, por los agentes investigadores de todas las agencias que participaron a nivel mundial para llevar a cabo esta investigación, para atrapar a Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán, para extraditarlo, encauzarlo y hoy asegurar el veredicto de culpabilidad. Quiero destacar los agentes de mi agencia, de la Oficina de Seguridad Interna en Phoenix y también aquí en Nueva York, del Dorado Task Force, que trabajaron arduamente con los agentes de la DEA, del FBI y aquí en la ciudad con la policía de Nueva York para llevar a cabo esta investigación monumental. Quiero cerrar con este aviso. Este veredicto de culpabilidad lleva un mensaje claro a todos aquellos individuos que, igual que el Chapo, que quieren envenenar nuestras calles. No son intocables, no son incansables y su día le llegará. Muchas gracias.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Appreciate. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate your patience and all your hard work. Huh? Yes. I don't know. I think I'm going to take it down. Are they coming out now?
Hold on 1 second.
On purple.
We'll talk nice and
We'll
loud.
be out.
After you guys are done speaking under our government tent, we'll take it down.
Oh, is it? All right. Well, hey, tax
still-
dollars at work.
You're still the Daily News to me. Don't forget that.
All right, everyone. Go ahead.
The case was obviously, anybody who witnessed it could see how utterly and completely overwhelming the amount of evidence was. We obviously, I don't think anybody would doubt that we fought like hell. We fought like complete savages and left it all on the battlefield for Joaquin Guzman. I mean, this is America, and no matter who the defendant is, you still have to fight to the death. No matter what people think, what society thinks, what the government thinks, we took that obligation incredibly seriously, and as I said, we left nothing. Everything was left on the battlefield, and it's been an absolute honor and a pleasure, an honor, and I mean that, to represent Joaquin Guzman, because if you can't represent Joaquin Guzman as a defense lawyer, you shouldn't be representing anyone. And I would say that working with these two lawyers, we were thrown together in the most difficult of circumstances. Bill, Eduardo, myself, and we meshed. Somehow we figured it out. We meshed together, and these are two friends I'll have for life. I appreciate all your coverage. It's an important day, I suppose, in American history, but the fight is not over. We'll continue to fight for Joaquin Guzman until our last breaths.
Did you speak to him afterwards, and if so, what did he tell you?
He did. I mean, look, he was very clear to us. He's a very upbeat guy, and he was bringing our spirits up, which is surprising. Usually it's the other way around. We're consoling a client who's just been convicted of counts that will ensure that he'll spend the rest of his life in prison. This is a positive guy, and he has always been positive with us. He's always tried to bring our spirits up. And look, we judge him differently than you judge him. We judge him differently than society judges him. We judge him differently than the government judges him. We judge him how he is with us. And the guy's always been a gentleman. He's always been supportive. He's always been happy and appreciative of all of our efforts. And that's how we leave thinking of Mr. Guzman.
What's in front of him in terms
Of course he does. He's a highly intelligent guy. He knows what he's facing, and he knew the odds. I mean, look, this was a case that was literally an avalanche of evidence. So much that we could barely wade through it in another language. It was incredibly difficult to even get prepared for this trial. We were obviously begging for more time, not because we wanted to dot some I's and cross some T's, but because we just wanted to be prepared. That being said, I've never faced a case with so many cooperating witnesses. I've never faced a case with so much evidence, and we did our best. And I'll hold my head high. I know these two guys will as well. We did all that we could, and it just wasn't enough today. And that's just how it is as defense lawyers. You have to have a thick skin because you can't win them all. You do the best you can, you fight, and at the end of the day, you want to be able to walk out of a courtroom, face the press, losing a case, and be able to hold our heads up high, and that's what we did.
Are you going to appeal, Jeff?
What's that? Of course we're going to appeal. I mean, there was a tremendous amount of issues that were created here. We felt that the cross-examination of cooperators was greatly restricted, overly restricted. That's going to be an important grounds for appeal. Obviously, the whole extradition process will be a ground. You know, it's too early to think about that now. We're sort of trying to digest it. I mean, this is not, emotionally, this is not an easy thing for any of us. But we'll think about the appeal tomorrow, but I can assure you that the appeal will be fought just as this trial was fought, and as you all saw, this is balls to the wall, and that's how we fight cases.
Thanks, Sergeant.
What's that? I mean, these counts, these are life counts. There's no guidelines calculation here. These are life counts statutorily, you know, do you have a question? What's that?
He wants to know if you think it was a fair trial, if you were treated fairly, and if your client was treated fairly.
Look, he got a very vigorous defense, as you saw. Do I think it was a fair trial? No. We wouldn't have objected at all if we thought the trial was completely fair. No defense lawyers ever thought that they've gotten a completely fair trial after there's a conviction. There are grounds for appeals, and if we didn't think that there were grounds, then I would tell you that it was a completely fair trial. We obviously disagreed with the court vigorously on many issues, and certainly the government, but you know, look, you can't win them all. And I can say that, as I said, the evidence was overwhelming. This was a very difficult case, but we didn't fight it as if it was a fait accompli. We fought it every step of the way. Every witness, every question was a battle, and you saw it. And that's what you're supposed to do in America for people you represent as a defense lawyer. Some people say, don't take El Chapo's case. You don't want that kind of publicity. You don't want the government looking at you that way. Look, these two guys and myself, we went against conventional wisdom in a lot of ways by taking this case and fighting the government as we did. I'm proud of the fight that we did. I'm proud of the work that we did. And as I said, we leave holding our heads held up high, and we were all honored to represent Joaquin Guzman, and we're all honored to be a part of what we consider to be a historical trial.
Oh, hold on. Obviamente no estamos de acuerdo con el veredicto, pero como dijo Lickman, luchamos por Joaquín. Él estaba muy consciente de lo que iba a pasar hoy y seguimos adelante. Vamos a seguir con la defensa de él hasta donde podemos.
¿Cuáles fueron las últimas palabras de Joaquín cuando se despidió de usted? ¿Cómo lo vio? ¿Cuál fue su...?
Dando ánimos a nosotros. Él es un hombre muy fuerte, muy duro, y él entiende lo que pasó y lo que le enfrenta, y que sigamos adelante con él defendiéndolo.
¿Va a haber una apelación?
Seguro. Vamos a ver todas las opciones que él tiene.
What is his demeanor now?
His demeanor is that he is expected the results that we received here today. He's prepared for that.
Bill.
He's strong.
Mike.
He's strong, and he wants to let everyone know that he is going to continue his fight with the appeal and any other litigation which is necessary. So his demeanor is strong.
I mean, this is not a weak guy, I can assure you. This is not a guy whose spirits we needed to buoy. This is a guy that was strong from the beginning, from the first moment we met him, and it's been 2 years since we've met him. And this is a positive thinker. He's a positive guy. And look, it's a testament, you know, to his character. For better or for worse, this is a guy that doesn't give up. And I can assure you, he has lawyers that will never give up. And that's the beauty of America, the beauty of the American justice system, is that every defendant, no matter who he is, and no matter what he has been charged of and convicted of, deserves the best efforts of defense lawyers. And we will continue to do this, not just for Joaquin Guzman, but for all the people that we represent. When we come to court, I'm going to be back here on Thursday. I don't expect to see any of you guys here. I'm going to do my thing the same way, with the same effort, and the three of us will for all of our clients. And that's what America is about.
But you know, one of the things you have to keep in mind, though, with Joaquin, when he came in here, he was already presumed guilty, unfortunately, by the media, by the government, by everybody. And that is an extremely tough case to defend. We weren't just fighting the evidence, we were fighting the perception of who Joaquin was. And we hope to get that out in trial before the jury. So.
Do you still believe the government is protecting El Mayo?
Look, you know, you heard our defense, but we thought about what happened in Mexico with El Mayo. you know, they're cleaning up their mess over there. I hope they actually clean it up. I don't expect that they will, because it's been going on for generations over there. But we're not here to talk about our defense theories at this point. But it is, as Eduardo said, and he is 100% right. We had a fight. We're holding off the government with a chair, and we have the media busting through the door on the side. It was very, very difficult to fight the perception. Look, we get that you guys have a job to do, but the jury reads this stuff. And, you know, Joaquin Guzman was convicted before we even knew who Joaquin Guzman was. He was convicted in the press, and it was a very, very difficult thing to overcome. He was presumed guilty. This was not a case where we had a defendant presumed innocent. He was presumed guilty. I don't blame you guys, because you got to do what you got to do, but it's very, very difficult to get a fair trial in America when the press is so overwhelmingly negative. And look, I understand, you know, there were escapes that were dramatic, and that was all part of the lure of Joaquin Guzman. But at the end of the day, a lot of this contributed to a myth of what El Chapo is. El Chapo is not necessarily Joaquin Guzman, but that's for another day. As I said, we're happy to fight the fight that we did, and I'm proud of it. And as I said, I'm proud to work with these guys. You know, I'd walk into hell and back with these guys anytime, and that's how I feel about this case.
And I just want to give one quick shout out. Un segundo. These young ladies back here, Mackenzie and Samantha, this case would have been so much more difficult without their able help. They helped us. They knew the case.
I can tell you this, that my summation would not have been as interesting without these two women, because they did yeoman's work on short notice and actually made me seem human and humorous at times.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.